Welcome to The Road Reflected with Nicole Wakeland. Automotive from the lighter side. That means cars, but also cookies, coffee, and pie. Up first, what's Nicole behind the wheel of this week?
Okay, because it's the holidays, I have the same car.
Yes.
So they normally give us a car for about 2 weeks during the holiday season because the automotive world kind of just shuts down.
Like most of the world.
Yeah, but I mean, they really shut down. Like, good luck with everything. Like, you cannot get a hold of anyone. Right. Everyone's just done. And it's not a complaint. It's kind of brilliant.
Exactly.
Because you don't get any emails. You don't get a request for anything.
Very nice.
The world goes poof. So normally that means auto loans too are 2 weeks for us. Mm-hmm. So that's always nice. Except that for some reason I have 3 weeks for this one. So I think it's the longest I've ever had a press loan of a single vehicle in my whole life.
Fortunately, it's a Honda Accord, so you just
It's a Honda Accord hybrid, so
great
it's not
little sedan.
It's not like, I know, wouldn't it be horrible if I had a car for 3 weeks? I was like, oh my gosh, this is junk.
Well, or if it's a car that had a very specific purpose.
If it was like a Miata
you get
in January,
you kind of do a little everything,
or like some gigantic, heavy,
massive truck you couldn't park anywhere,
right? Because that would be tough to have for 3 weeks. So, but no, I got a Honda Accord hybrid, so like I'm not really complaining about the car. It's just like, wow, it's funny. Normally when I get into a car, because I'm always in a different car all the time, I have that moment, like I'll have somebody that's trying to get in the passenger side and I have to like, wait, where unlock the door? It's here it's here on the door.
Now you're kind of learning.
And now I'm thinking, gosh, things are so, fun fact, takes about 3 weeks for things to get really intuitive so you stop thinking about them. Because I normally don't have cars for that long.
Yeah, and you've also had it long enough in case like a weather pattern shifts.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened to us right now. We have actually, at this moment, it hasn't quite finished snowing.
The flakes are still coming.
It's still snowing, and we're probably going to end up with about a foot of snow when all is said and done.
Yep.
It's crazy out there, and we haven't had any snow this whole winter. So this
2024 is like winter's back, baby.
It's like, 2023 forgot. 2024 remembered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the thing about that is like, okay, so no one's had any snow. We haven't driven in any snow. And then I have little Honda Accord hybrid, which, you know what? People are going to say, well, that's not the car for the snow. Like, really, if you're driving in the snow, your favorite thing to get is some kind of crossover or SUV, something with all-wheel drive.
The correct answer is Jeep.
I know, because you're such a Jeep
Because
fanboy.
I have a Jeep, and therefore you had no worries traveling around your little Honda Accord.
Yeah.
Because I could come get you a metal tow cables anytime needed.
He could have, but he didn't need to.
No.
So I said, in fact, the guys over at Wheel Bearings were like, you got to take it out there and do it. And I was like, the other podcast that I'm on, and they're like, okay. So we did. So we went out, we went driving in the Honda Accord hybrid. So first of all, 19-inch tires on this thing. And it's front wheel drive.
Yeah.
It's not four-wheel drive or even all-wheel drive.
Front wheel's better than rear wheel. At least you got something.
Right, because now my daily driver is a Charger that is rear wheel.
Right.
So even worse. Or depending on your point of view, even more fun because you can do some killer donuts in a parking lot where there's no cars.
In the snow is a thing.
It's very fun to have a little, the rear wheel drive is brilliant.
On a closed track, of course.
For all the wrong reasons, it's brilliant. Otherwise, it's not so much. But I bought that with my own monies to have, knowing that I live in New England where it snows and I drove a rear wheel drive car. So I'm clearly not someone who's nervous driving around in the snow. But what I have is a front wheel drive Honda. So I thought, okay, let's take it out. Like, let's actually drive it. Let's be responsible. Let's not go on a, 2-hour road trip in a snowstorm, but let's take it out to some local roads as things are a little calmed down and let's just see what happens as we drive through the snow. So the first thing we have is a driveway that's full of about a foot of snow.
Yep.
And if you live somewhere you snow, you realize that it's not actually the amount of snow that falls that's the problem. It's where the plow has plowed.
It's all about plow timing.
Right. Because
the plow just comes by, even if you snow blow into your driveway.
It's chaos.
The plow comes by and just buries you in.
Right? So,
unless, of course, you're in a Jeep.
In a car with any kind of clearance, you're okay. Because if you have an SUV or crossover, you have a little bit more clearance. You can probably clear that snowbank or at least have enough clearance and enough oomph that you can sort of blast through it. Like you have to be really careful. You got to do that. Okay, there's no one. Look both ways. Let's see if anyone's coming and blast through the snowbank at the bottom of your driveway. You can't do that in a sedan.
I remember the days before I had a nice off-road capable vehicle, you'd watch and the snowplow would go by. And of course, especially if you have young kids, you get nervous about being plowed in.
Right.
So you run out like a little rabid, passionate driveway clearer. And you'd have to shovel yourself
rabid
out.
Monkey felt like the right
and you'd
phrase
run out,
you were
you clear
looking
off,
for.
and then you go back. and you feel good for about an hour until the snowplow came by again. You had to run out again.
Like, son of a...
So I do enjoy having an off-road vehicle that I can be like, okay, well, I don't have to be so passionate about it because I can always get out.
So you could blast yours right through that snowbank, but I did not try and do that in the Accord.
No, of course not.
There's two things that are the problem with that. First of all, you're probably going to get stuck because it's low enough. Even if you didn't have front-wheel drive, the sedans are low and they don't like snowbanks.
Isn't one of an air dam or something anyway? You like rip something off.
Well, that's the other thing. You can really damage your car going through one of this, especially depending on what the plow has kicked up. So if it's just like light, fluffy, happy, warm, fuzzy snow, and cold, fuzzy snow, cold, fluffy snow, you're fine. You can kind of go through the snowbank and it kind of just goes around you like some kind of commercial. If it is heavy and wet and icy, you are just as likely to hit a giant chunk of ice that will do damage to your car.
People should know this. So if you're not living in a climate where you get snow on any kind of regular basis, no matter how fluffy the snow is,
the snowbanks
are not. The snow plow bank is never fluffy. It is dense and heavy, and even a good snowblower, you have to slow way down and make it work to get through that. That is never something you want to hit at speed. Never. It is not fluffy and not going to go poof. It's going to go...
Yeah, you think that it's going to be something like, well, it's just snow. You can just drive through it. It's light and fluffy.
That is some dense stuff.
It is dense stuff. And if it's heavy and wet, and heaven forbid you drive through that and it's had a chance to get a little bit colder, whatever they've plowed has sat there for a little bit, you can legitimately have ice chunks in there that will, from experience when I was a considerably younger driver, take the plastic rim trim around your tires.
Ask me how I know.
Ask me how I know.
The other
Rip
problem
that
is if you
sucker
don't
right
get
off.
down there and clear it out eventually, even if you're like a Jeep owner like myself, eventually that stuff will harden and become basically a brick.
Yes.
So you do have to get down there pretty often.
So we did clear, or you, I say we, you took the snowblower out there and you cleared out the back of the driveway so that I could at least get through, and we took it out there.
Yeah.
And the thing is, front wheel drive, okay, like I said, not the perfect car for the snow.
Better than rear wheel.
Was not a disaster.
No, it's not that bad.
It's fine. So, it has decent set of all-season tires on it, which is also good. If you took it out in summer tires, just don't ever do that in the snow. It's the wrong choice. But even without all the heavy duty, today's cars do really well in the snow, even if it's not a car you traditionally would think, I'm going to take the sucker out in the snowstorm.
Just plan extra time. Plan to be able to drive a little slower.
Right.
Or maybe get stuck at an intersection where it's uphill, and you don't. That's where the 2-wheel versus 4-wheel drive really matters.
And that's where it kind of gets you too is so. And we kind of, I've had this happen multiple times in sedans, especially where it can be a challenge. So you pull in and you're going to the grocery store, you're going to the local diner, because that's the thing we always do when it's
we go to breakfast.
We go to breakfast in the snow. It's like a thing. It's an us thing. We always go.
The people at diners on a snow day are the coolest.
They're
people.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
And also really a lot of really sleepy tow truck drivers, which is kind of funny.
Plow drivers. Yeah.
But so our plow drivers are both.
We're both. Yes.
But so if you come through the intersection and it's fine, when you come back through, if a plow's come through, now you're a nice clear intersection. You now have a 1 foot berm of snow for the snowbank that it has left in its wake. And you still have to get through that. So sometimes you have that trick, like if you're in a sedan and you're faced with that, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt just because it's so low and you have to be careful, or you got to pick and choose your direction that you're getting out. But we didn't have trouble with the Accord.
No.
It was good. It handled well. I'm not going to lie. There was a little slip sliding.
Of course.
But I think there's a little slip sliding with this kind of snow no matter what you're driving. There's a certain element
you always
of
slip. And the thing to remember, even if you have an all-wheel drive vehicle, it doesn't stop you any faster.
Right.
It's all about getting out of them. Getting stuck is great, but you still got to be able to slow down.
So my careful planning was, okay, don't drive like an idiot and drive super, super fast. Leave some space and use that when you have the opportunity to use the lane, whatever the lane is. And I feel like it should be in air quotes, because there's not always a lane when it's snowing, but you kind of make one of your own, and that's what you use. So as we were driving around in all of this snow, the thing is that the scariest part is not the driving. The scariest part is everybody else.
Yes, other drivers are always a constant worry.
So here's my fervent wish for 2024.
Okay.
If you are afraid to drive in the snow, do not.
Yes.
If you don't like driving in the snow and you are not on your deathbed getting to the ER, do not.
Right.
If there's not a great urgency to your reason for being on the road and you don't like snow, don't drive in it.
So this is why I go to a diner on the morning of a snowstorm, particularly on a weekend, which is what today was. So it was a Sunday, big snowstorm. because no one really has to be anywhere. So most people who are nervous to drive in the snow are staying home. So that means when you go out, you're only out there with other snowplow drivers and people who are confident in the snow.
Yes. You don't generally get people who are nervous who go out to breakfast during the snow.
Confident people doesn't mean we drive recklessly or too fast. It just means we don't drive so slow on a perfectly cleared road that we freak out.
So it's the kind of thing, like we've all had this happen even when the weather is perfectly fine, right? You know a nervous driver when you see one. They're in front of you on the highway or it's a crazy intersection.
They multiply in the snow.
Right?
Like rabbits.
Right. And there's something, there's a person's nervous and it's not so much that they're driving slow. It's that everyone else is trying to get around them. Because they're making your life difficult. You're having to drive tentatively yourself. And if you're not nervous, like, I don't understand why you're stopping or slowing down. And it's hard to drive behind people who are very, very nervous because they're doing things that aren't intuitive. And you keep feeling like, oh, wait, I got to slow down. It's almost like you feel like you're going to hit them. You're like, I got to get out of this guy's way.
Right.
Because he's so slow and so confused and so nervous about everything that he's going to cause an accident. And it could be with me. Like, I need to get out of his way. We have it a couple on the highway. There were people. So the highway thing, when I was talking about lanes a minute ago, say it's a 3-lane highway. It's like you make the lane, whatever the lane we've all driven in the most, and you can see
whichever cleared lane.
Yeah.
Because never in the beginning of a storm, the entire highway is never clear.
No.
So usually on a 3-lane highway, there'll be one really clear lane.
It becomes like a 2-track of pavement.
And then a kind of cleared lane, and then a not cleared lane.
Yes.
I mean, it's cleared. It's not like deep. It's just
could be.
It's just full snow, so you'll slide on that if you're not careful.
Right.
You can drive on it. You just want to be careful.
So you go with whatever, and it's not the cleared lane is not generally. Sometimes it's not even really a lane. Right. It's not really the left, far left,
two lanes.
Right. But if
you're driving on the lines,
if that's what the world has determined is the lane for the next hour,
the rule of thumb is wherever your tires can touch tarmac.
That's where you drive.
Where you want to be.
And everybody just kind of, you sort of agree, like, we're not really in the correct lane.
It could be at a traffic light. You're between the lights.
You all just go with it.
How it works.
Right? Yeah. But if you're scared to death and there is exactly one little 2-track of pavement on a giant highway, then everybody else is trying not to go 10 miles an hour and rear end you. We're all trying to sort of get around you at 20.
You drive at 40 on a 60 mile an hour road, you're driving at 40, which is probably a little slow. Maybe visibility is low or whatever, and then you suddenly brake just because you freak out. The person behind you to suddenly brake. So then what they do is they go into less plowed lanes to get around you because you are of more danger in the plowed lanes. And now you got people going in the less plowed lanes because they have to because you're a hazard.
It causes more chaos.
So don't go out there.
So that's like my pet peeve. I just don't want, and we did have one person who was terrified, weirdly, in a... I didn't see because I was paying attention to the road. It was a white pickup truck. It was a pretty big pickup truck.
It was a capable vehicle. That was the funny part.
Right. So thinking it's not like you're in like in a sports car here, dude. You're in a
nice heavy truck.
Yeah, he was really nervous. You can be
a little more aggressive because your weight keeps the friction
and you got the clearance, and so he was very, very nervous, and everyone was going by him on the right because he was going so slowly in the only little track of pavement. So I think that's one of those things. Like, people have to, like, if you're really afraid to go out in the snow, shouldn't.
I have another etiquette thing.
Oh, what's your other etiquette
thing?
So
the plow wall. So one of the things that happens in New England is on the highways.
Oh, the
plows drive shoulder to shoulder in sort of like almost like half of a flying V of Canadian geese.
It is. That's exactly
and so the plow in the left-hand lane's like on point, and then the plow in the middle lane's like a little bit behind him, and then the plow to the right of him is a little behind him. So what happens is the snow comes off the front plow's plow, goes to the second plow's plow, goes to the third plow's plow, and then goes off into the breakdown lane. And these guys can cruise along at a reasonable clip.
But
plows
definitely not
the highway speed. They're going like 30 or maybe 35 on a 60 mile an hour highway, but they're clearing the highway for you.
And it causes a backup.
And etiquette is you all just sit there with a respectable distance because they're also throwing salt and it's, with enough distance to let the plows do their thing. But every once in a while you get some sort of like the opposite of the nervous Nelly, the hotshot guy who thinks he or she can go somehow between the plows or around the plows, or does somehow see the plows even though it's a giant wall that's 20 feet high with big yellow flashing lights.
I know, you can't miss it.
And they zip right up there, cutting everybody off, and then try to get through or around the plows. And the etiquette is just...
Don't do that either.
They are doing the job to make the road drivable. Right? Just slow down, take it easy. Do not be in a rush when you're in a snowstorm. That's the surest way to an accident.
The best way is just don't be in a rush. Yeah. Don't go out if you're petrified unless you're on death's doorstep. And just take your time. And if you can take your time in the snow, you will avoid half of the problems. We also went out in your Wrangler.
Of course.
Because you love taking your Jeep out. In fact,
it's the reason you own a Jeep. That and off-roading is for snow.
You sought out a parking lot that normally is not plowed, and you were sad when it was plowed.
So we have this little playground near our and baseball fields near our house, and which is also next to a park. And there's a little parking lot there, of course, so all the people can go use these facilities. And most of the time, they don't plow it early on because it's just a side parking lot and no one's playing baseball.
Not
in
a priority.
So they're plowing them, and it's never plowed. So I love to sneak over there in my Jeep and just kind of like not do anything untoward, but, drive around, do a couple donuts, because it's fun and it's pavement and it's safe and there's nobody there. However, today, some plow driver decided that the most important thing to do is plow this little parking lot.
At the baseball field near our house for no reason.
I was terribly sad because...
You did find a little stretch of pavement.
I was out there early, man. I was ready.
It was pretty early. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning.
A little sad.
I know.
Panda.
You were a little bit sad. But and you drove in your Jeep in the weather too. And
it was so fun. It was a great day.
Had no problem. And see, the difference is the bonus you had that I didn't have in the Honda was it because it's got, forget the fact that it has 4-wheel drive, which it does. It's also got that ground clearance. So you didn't need to worry. The clearance is actually
almost more important than the 4-wheel drive.
Right. So you didn't need to worry about the snow berm at the end of the driveway because that's really where you get stuck. You generally get stuck in that really deep snow.
And the plows, when they go through an intersection, they also put a berm in the side street.
Yeah.
So if you're waiting at a stop sign to pull onto a primary road and a plow goes by, you can get plowed in real time in a car that cannot get through it.
Yes.
And so that's why having the high clearance vehicle makes it just.
So you had your Jeep and it was fun. And even though you didn't get to do donuts in that fun little yard,
I still got to drive in the snow.
But
I found a few banks to drive through. It was great.
You did drive for no reason at all. That whole meme. It's like Jeep for no reason at all.
Yes.
And they're pulled sideways on a rock because you can.
Now the best part's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because what happens tomorrow is all the plows go to the big parking lots for the grocery stores.
Yes.
And they push the snow into giant piles. And then you park your Jeep on the side of a giant hill.
Right. You park your Jeep. There's 8,000 parking spaces.
There's plenty of spaces.
But there's you crawl slightly onto the snow. Yeah.
Yes. It's like a literally little snow mountain.
Because you can, you park on the side of snow.
And the best part is this season, it sounds like, because supposedly the polar vortex is unwinding a little bit this season, and so we're going to have a lot of snow between now and
it's going to all be
spring.
Snow now.
So I'm kind of excited because these snow piles pile really high.
But you don't pull up to the top of them because it's not safe. You're on the little
just
edge.
The bottom. Just kind of put the front wheels on there.
You just because
don't do anything silly.
You're because you can. Then you're like
over.
I can pull up here because I'm
shiny
cool.
side up, people. Don't roll it over.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yes. So we had fun today. So you had fun tooling around in your little Jeep.
I did.
And I had a surprising amount of fun in the Honda because you can really take any car you want out in the snow if you're smart about it. Hey, wait, did we just drive by a bakery? Okay, guys, because I didn't do it earlier, if you like what you're listening to, then go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe either on YouTube or your favorite podcatcher.
And leave us positive reviews on iTunes.
So one of the things that happens when there's a snowstorm, we have this thing called the French toast alert system.
Yes, the French toast alert system.
Because when there's snow, what do you go by?
So if in New England in particular, but I think this happens kind of everywhere.
Yeah, it's the thing.
Whenever there's snow, everybody runs to the grocery store the night before. It's been forecast, right? Mm-hmm. So people are freaking out. And if you look in a grocery store the night before a snowstorm, they are always out of 3 things, inexplicably. They're out of milk, they're out of bread, and they are out of eggs. Which we all know is how you make French toast. French toast. So clearly, when a snowstorm comes, everybody wants to make French toast. And that's has been sort of the brainchild and gave birth to this really funny social media account called the French Toast Alert System. And they issue it based on, instead of saying, we're going to get 3 inches of snow and it's going to last for 6 hours, they'll say, we're at level yellow. You need to buy 2 dozen eggs, a gallon of milk, and 2 loaves of bread. It's we're at level red. It's how much French toast. 4 gallons of milk, 10 loaves of bread. How much supplies to survive the entire storm? It's all based on how many pieces of toast and color for how much French toast you would need to survive the storm. I don't even know. I didn't get to see what the French Toast Alert System French toast level was. I bet this was a level 4. I think it was level 4 because it was a foot. Because we had a foot of snow, which we don't often get. But ironically, we went to the diner this morning, as we do, did, and we ordered French toast. We did. Oh, we got the best French toast. Stuffed French toast, stuffed with whoopie pies. Yeah, because it was on the specials menu. Yeah, and none of us really wanted an entire plate of whoopie pie stuffed French toast, but we all wanted to try it. So we each got a meal. There was a normal meal, and then we put the thing of whoopie pie French toast right in the middle of the table. And we all had a piece.
It was so good.
See, and this is where our diner does fit into our bakery segment.
Yes.
Because good diners, so we were talking about this the other day, what makes a really good diner like a classic diner? And of course, you have to have all the comfort foods. You have to be open late and early. Right?
Absolutely.
And you have to do breakfast all day.
Yep.
Part of the rule. But also, really good diners are also bakeries.
Yes.
Really good diners have amazing pie, amazing cake, and this one actually does whoopie pies as well, as they're one of their staple things they sell.
Whoopie pies. And they also have a thing, they don't call them Twinkies. They call them...
but when Twinkies were dying, remember when Hostess...
Yes.
They started making their own version.
No, they've had them longer than that.
Have they had them longer than that?
And they have a mascot. They call them like Dinah something, because Diner, it's
Dinah Fingers.
Dinah, and it's like the little mascot on their cup.
Yeah, this is the Red Arrow Diner, by the way, we're talking about. And the Red Arrow Diner is actually nationwide famous.
It's famous because we're in New Hampshire, first in the nation primary. Not going to get political beyond that, but all the politicians, all of them
go to Red Arrow Diner.
Come to New Hampshire, and they all stop at the Red Arrow Diner and do handshakes. In fact, even sometimes you'll probably see things on your favorite news station
all
of choice.
All the current candidates for 2024
where they're sitting at the counter, or they're shaking hands, or they're interviewing people in the Red Arrow Diner.
Every major president, Obama's been there.
In fact,
Biden's been there. Trump was there.
We had today had things about C-SPAN. It was like 2024 something C-SPAN. So it is a big thing.
But it's also famous because it's been in diners, drive-ins, and dives. It's one of the top 10 diners in the United States. Like, it's a very well-known diner.
It's a really well-known diner.
I would argue it's because their bakery's good.
The bakery is amazing. So we once had a store where we were up very, very late.
They're open 24 hours too.
At 2 a.m. And there were very few things open. And we used to go to this diner.
Yep.
We would get our dinner at 2 o'clock.
And we'd do breakfast.
Because why not? But we'd always get at least one piece of pie.
Yeah,
because they must have about 15 or 20 different kinds of pies at any one time. They have more than that they
and
make.
And the cakes too. The cakes are like, 6-8 inches tall.
Yeah.
Big slice. Carrot cake is killer.
Yeah.
Like all the cakes.
And they have two of their signatures, the whoopie pies and the Twinkies that
Dinah
are called
Fingers,
Twinkies.
or whatever they call them.
Yeah, something like that. But their whoopie pies are so good. In fact, you can get them in normal whoopie pie size. I don't know what's normal whoopie pie size.
Cake size.
Or you can get them so they're the size of a dinner plate. Yeah. And they come in like chocolate flavors and peanut butter. I think they did a chocolate chip cookie.
They've done red velvet before.
They've done red velvet.
Apparently they stuff them in French toast. Who knew?
Which sounded really weird, but let's be honest, that whoopie pie stuffed French toast was amazing.
And it's what you think. It's not like whoopie pie flavors in French toast. No. So imagine you take 2 slices of French toast.
Like thin slices, not giant slices.
And then you chop up a whoopie pie.
And stick it in there.
And then you stick it in there between it. And you
squish.
And you finish frying it. Because it's already been, I'm guessing they dredge the toast, do all the thing, and then they fry it.
I think they dredge it after. I think they smush it together, and then I think they dredge it.
But the filling's warm too, so it's all warm all the way through.
It's all, and the whoopie pie, the cream filling is sort of like melted into it.
Because it's not sweet enough, you put some real maple syrup on that because New Hampshire, and then boom. That'll get you all your sugar for a week.
All 4 of us loved it, but I thought, oh my gosh, this is so much sugar.
It was good.
It was
we couldn't eat it all. We took some home. And then we had some for dessert for dinner.
Right. Because, we had a lot of leftovers. So also,
we ordered too much.
We had done our adventure out into the great white north that is currently New Hampshire. And then we were hungry, didn't want to go out. And we were playing board games like you do.
Yeah, like you do.
In a snowstorm.
Right.
And thought, what do we have in the fridge?
What's wrong with the leftovers?
It was the most ridiculous. Our leftovers were just, a few pieces of this whoopie pie French toast, some little tiny mini hot dogs wrapped in crescent rolls.
Pigs in a blanket left over from one of the holiday events.
Then we had some French toast sticks from breakfast.
From breakfast.
We had a slice of pizza and I think 2 little round waffles.
And a steak quesadilla from 2 nights ago.
So in case you're wondering about it, we are super high-class snackers in this house.
Oh, yeah. I think I also snuck a corn dog in there.
There was a corn dog that was in the freezer.
Yeah, but all the leftovers were gone. It was like literally a smorgasbord.
All the leftovers, the random bits of appetizers we didn't use through Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
Everything was consumed today during the snowstorm.
That was a great dinner.
It was fabulous. And we also had, just to polish it off, because why not round out our ridiculously bad for you dinner with a ridiculously bad for you drink? We also had hot chocolate with whipped cream and sprinkles.
Oh, yeah, of course. Because it's a snowstorm.
It's a snowstorm. And I don't know, I think there might actually be a law that when it snows, you have to have.
Well, also my oldest daughter and I took a walk in the snow because we love to walk in the snow and it was falling, and went to that park I mentioned, and across the river and got some great pictures of the trees. Right during or after a snow, you get that cool moment where every branch is covered in lined with snow.
It's going to look beautiful tomorrow morning too.
It is going to be great. And so we took that walk and we came back and we were freezing. So of course, hot chocolate for everybody.
Yeah, they took that walk, and meanwhile I thought, you know what? It looks really blustery and snowy out there.
Yeah, you and our younger daughter was like, no, thank you.
In the house under my little blanket, and I'm going to be toasty warm, and I'm not going out with you in that crazy storm.
Thanks for listening to The Road Reflected. To follow more of Nicole Wakeland's adventures, head on over to NicoleWakeland.com. There you'll find links to her social media from TikTok to Twitter, as well as her work across a wide range of media outlets. Until next time, keep it shiny side up.